it's once again time for a one-day make. Yes, I have been doing a lot of these lately. Today I'm going to be making a tulip-shaped reticule. Now, tulip-shaped purses and bags have been popular pretty much as long as bags have existed. I've found examples from the Elizabethan period, from the Regency period, and from the Edwardian period. So this bag I think is going to be pretty versatile and I can wear it with a lot of different outfits. I have created a pattern that I'm going to use to cut out my pieces, and you can actually find this pattern for free. It'll be linked down below in the description for you to try your hand at your own tulip reticule when you want to have one for yourself. Since I am once again stranded at home without a car and access to my vast fabric stash in the storage unit far, far away, I have decided to use some scraps that I have around here. I have this black poly satin that I'm going to use for the exterior of the bag, and then I have the pink lining that I used on my bonnet, so that'll kind of tie that in with that bonnet if I want to wear them together. So let's see if we can get this reticule done today. I think I can get it done in one day. It seems like a pretty simple project, but we will see. Let's get started. To start, I cut 5 petals from the black satin. The satin was rather thick and my scissors were a little bit damaged, so this kind of took a while. I attacked the lining a bit differently. Since the fabric was pretty thin, I folded it over 3 times and cut out all the petals simultaneously. I then pinned each lining piece to each satin piece, right sides together. Once all the pieces were prepared, I stitched the lining to the fabric, leaving an opening at the top to turn each piece right side out. I then trimmed my seam allowance to 1/4 inch, clipped my corners, flipped each petal right side out, and pressed them flat. The seam allowance of the opening was then pressed flat, turned inward, pressed flat again, and then pinned closed. And finally, the opening was hand stitched closed. Okay, so I have the main bits here that are all completed now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to place these wrong sides together and I'm going to whip stitch along the seam on the outside with a decorative stitch. I saw this on an Edwardian version of this purse, so I think that's a fun decorative touch that I want to include on my own. I have a bit of pink embroidery floss to go with the pink lining of this bag, and I think that'll tie everything together nicely on the outside. I used 3 strands of embroidery floss doubled over to make my decorative stitch. I was careful to only catch the fashion fabric and not the lining, since I didn't want the lining to show on the outside, and I kept my stitches to about 1/4 inch apart. Alright, so I'm just about to add the last petal here onto the purse. Looking at the volume of the bag currently, I certainly could add another petal for a little bit extra space in here, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to keep it at 5 petals right now. In the future, I would probably do 6 just to have a little bit of extra room to carry things, but right now, this is just going to be. I started at the bottom of the final petal and made sure that all the corners met and were secure. I left a little bit of thread loose to add a tassel later. I then sewed on the final petal using the same decorative whip stitch. To make a place for the drawstring, I created 1/2 inch thread loops using the embroidery floss. I placed 1 loop at each seam. To finish off the bottom of the bag, I created a decorative tassel using the rest of the embroidery floss. Remember the loose thread on the bottom? I threaded it back onto a needle, looped it through the tassel, drew it back through the bottom of the bag, and tied it off on the inside to secure the tassel in place. I didn't have any cording, so I used, you guessed it, more embroidery floss, and created the drawstring. And with the drawstring in place, our little bag was finished. So there we have it, our own little tulip-shaped bag. This is a smaller size bag, so it doesn't actually fit my phone in it. If I wanted to have one that would fit my phone and my wallet and everything that I carry with me, instead of just like the pared down stuff that I take with me to events, then I would have to elongate the pattern a little bit to give it a little more space. But this is a nice size for just carrying to the opera or to some other event where I don't have to have a whole bunch of stuff on me. If you enjoyed today's make and are excited to make a little tulip bag for yourself, please let me know down in the comments below and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And for more sewing adventures, costume events, and other historical costuming content, please be sure to hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Kind of looks like a graboid. It's gonna tunnel out of the ground and swallow me.